welcome back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek. Joining me as always is Mikey the Freak.
What's up?
And Peebo.
What's up?
Today we have a special edition. This movie is a Halloween classic. The movie title, I know you're waiting for, Antissa. Patient.
Yes.
It is Rocky Horror Picture Show from 1975, I believe. Yes, 1975. Dude, this is a classic. You know, theaters play this, at Halloween almost every year. They do shadow shows, which means people get up and actually act it out while the movie's actually playing. They dress up. I really want to go to one of these shows one day. I believe, Bebo, this was your first time seeing this movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was.
All
right, we will get to him shortly. But basically, this movie is a couple.
Sounds so threatening.
Basically, a couple. It is a musical, and this couple gets stranded. They have to walk to this mansion in the rain, and when they get there, they want to use the phone to, of course, get their car fixed. But they meet a bunch of interesting people, a scientist, if you will, who is bringing a man to life for himself because he is a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things in the movie. At the end, there's a lot of twists and turns in this movie. I will say that. If you haven't seen this movie, go see it. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of it. It is a musical. Tim Curry, Barry Bostwick, Susan Sarandon,
just a Meatloaf. Don't forget about Meatloaf.
Don't forget, you can't forget about the meatloaf, even with onions.
Eddie. Everybody likes Eddie.
But it's a bunch of dancing, and sorry if you hear my dogs going off in the background. But it's just a bunch of dancing, singing, and it is a very movie about sexuality, basically. That's basically what this movie is about. Dude, it's fun. It's a fun movie. I like singing along. I almost got up.
Of course you do.
Dude,
Of course he does.
Yeah, I almost got up and started doing the time warp when they were singing it.
On the table, nonetheless.
On the table. My favorite part is the narrator. Because at certain points, the movie will cut to a narrator who's actually telling the story. And he cuts to him, and he's on the table, and he's giving the directions on how to do the time warp. It's freaking hilarious. I enjoyed this movie a ton. How about you, Mikey the Freak? How'd you enjoy this movie?
Yeah, this has always been a cult classic, since 75, since it came out. And you're right. Every single year, they do some kind of Rocky Horror Picture Show locally. We actually have one here in Winter Haven tonight, actually, that I wanted to go watch. I have some friends going to it, and it's always an interesting movie if you want to watch. It is a fun sing-along movie. Some of the songs, I'll tell you this, you only remember Time Warp. Let me just put it that way. Your only song you're going to remember and be able to quote is Time Warp, and it's only the chorus. You have no clue what they say the rest of the time. It's only the part of the dance. I can guarantee you, if you start singing the song, you're not going to remember anything, but it's a jump to the left. And that's exactly where you're going to start.
And then a step to the
and
right.
You're going to end. And that's it, yeah.
You put your hands on your hips. And put your
knees in tight. And do your pelvic thrust. So, and then when they start at the end, it's hard to hear because the high pitch singing, it's very tough to understand what they're saying. But it's one of those movies to where every year on Halloween, it's probably the most notable dress up movie.
Yes.
Because there's so many colorful characters in the movie and it is one of those to where you can't really. I don't think you can relate to those characters, but I think just the costuming is impeccable through the entire movie. The graphics, no, but yeah, it's not. They did a little bit of probably green screen. I guess you'd call it from CGI back in '75.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of now you see it, now you don't type picture. There's a flash, and that's where they cut the screens. But it's so the graphics isn't there. But yeah, you always want to dress up like Magenta or Riff Raff or Columbia, or Dr. Frankenfooter, or even I have friends that dressed up like Rocky Horror. My body ain't dressing up like Rocky Horror. I look nothing like that guy.
Well,
I'm more of
you're
like
not going to
I'm
wear
like
little garters and a little corset. You're not
no
going to
That's
Frankenfurter. Yeah,
Frankenfurter, not
yeah. So Frankenfurter,
Rocky
I
Horror.
could probably dress up like Frankenfurter with the women's clothing.
I'm
But
pretty sure I speak for not only ourselves, but also anybody listening to this podcast video, as well as family members, general public, children,
Yeah.
dogs, random squirrels. Please don't.
yes, no. But yeah, there's always a character that is has fun, colorful costume. Even the dancers in Time Warp.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool. They got the tuxedos on, they got the bright colored glasses, and then the
makeup,
hair
yeah.
is just all over the place. So even a character like that, people would know exactly who you are just by those scenes.
I would say so, yeah.
So yeah, so always a must during Halloween. So yeah, it's a very good movie from beginning to end with just that aspect of it. So what were your thoughts, Bevo? Since it was your first time ever watching this movie.
I played it for about 10 seconds and ran.
You lie.
No, I'm just kidding. I actually like the movie. I don't have like a reason of why I haven't watched it till now. It's just something I've wanted to see it because a lot of people I know, friends, family, like the movie. Some a little too much, Mikey. But I apologize. It is a musical. I understand you. And I accept you. But I don't really have a reason why it's taken me so long to see it, but for seeing it, especially for a movie that came out in 1975 and just sitting down and watching it in 2021, you have to sit down remembering that the movie was made in 75.
Correct. Yes.
It's not something you can just jump into. It's something you do have to kind of prepare yourself mentally for that. But the movie itself, the storyline did not go as what I had thought it would be. In any stretch of the imagination.
Yes.
I was like, oh, so we're going there. Oh, no, there's another left turn. Let's go over here now.
It is a big roller coaster.
Yeah, it is definitely, yeah, it's a roller coaster musical. That's basically what this movie's classified as. But no, it was you guys are right. The music, it does make you want to sing along with it, especially Time Warp. I actually really liked Tim Curry's portrayal in this movie. I thought he was spot on for that particular type of a character,
and he can sing, man. Who
yeah.
knew that Tim Curry?
Yeah, and because
he did theater when he was young.
Yeah,
he's probably one of the best singers out there right now. Well, not now, but yeah.
Well, not now, but
not now. No,
no,
not now.
But no, he was. It was definitely a different movie than anything else we've suggested on the Back to the Retro review. I've always seen, like you guys said, a lot of places have the production where they're watch the movie, but they've also got the people who act out the movie at the same time. Now, Mikey, I know you said you had one in Winter Haven. There's usually one that the Polk Theater does in Lakeland. And maybe now I'll go see it since I know what the hell the movie's about.
I've always heard that is a totally different experience to watch the Shadows.
I've heard the same thing. And like just knowing, like, the only things I'd ever seen is like a small clip here from like a preview of the movie. When people are like, we're gonna go watch this and dress up, and I'm like, okay, I'll see you later. because I was just like, I just don't get it. But watching the movie, I can definitely see why it had the cult following it did, or does, I guess I should say.
Mhm.
It was definitely a different movie, but I did like it. The songs were really good. The acting, not so much, but the songs were really good. Um, it was, I don't know how else to put it other than I liked the movie, but it was definitely a different movie than anything I've ever watched.
That
Um,
that is very true. It is definitely a different movie.
I
Um,
will say the ending of this movie, which I'm not going to give away for anybody, never fucking saw coming.
No, never.
Ever.
no.
Like,
The
you're
last
watching this
20
movie
minutes.
and you're taking all these turns in this damn roller coaster. You're like, wait, and then at the end, the roller coaster just fucking breaks down. You fly off the track and you don't know what the hell happened.
Final destination.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, okay. Wait,
Yeah.
what? It was
Where'd
just,
that come from?
yeah, exactly. But I liked all the characters, even Meatloaf as Eddie in it. I just thought it was a really cool movie. I actually liked it a lot.
All right.
Yeah. You know what's cool? Just to kind of we always talk about the
No.
Tim Curry's character.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at Tim Curry's character, he is so sarcastic with his eyes
Oh yes.
in the
Yes,
movie.
very
So
much so.
whenever you guys watch this, always pay attention to his facial expressions, his eyes. He rolls his eyes a lot, like, oh my god.
And what I
it's
love is
so
that his
funny.
makeup on his face makeup really somehow accentuates that.
It does.
Yeah,
the
It really does.
sarcasm.
It is so funny. So that's what makes us even a comedy in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
You even said that the acting wasn't very good. I kind of disagree with you. I believe the acting kind of fit this type movie almost to a T. The over dramatized moments. Then you had Tim Curry with the subtleties. The musical itself. It's a musical. It's a low budget musical. This fit what this movie was, I believe.
I will say that I feel like I may have not only enjoyed the movie more, but would have understood it a lot more had I participated in the partaking of shrooms or acid prior to the video.
Yeah, you probably would have enjoyed
That would be
it.
that's an acid movie.
Yeah,
I would not watch it while on pot because I feel like you'd be sitting there at the end going, wait, what?
Yeah, what?
What?
You'd be like, right on, man. That's
Did I
miss
time
something?
war.
He'd be sitting there going, where the fuck did Cheech and Chong go? But it was definitely a good movie.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on into ratings here. This was my movie. I chose this for the special. Like I said, I loved the acting in it. I thought it fit the movie. Tim Curry, perfect role for this movie. He really dived into that character, like totally. It was. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was badass. I'm going to give this movie. Remember, you gotta put yourself in the time period of the mid
time warp.
Yes,
in the time
put
warp.
yourself in the time warp. Go back to the mid '70s, and in this movie coming out, which at this time, a movie like this coming out in the mid '70s, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it was.
That was
huge,
big deal. I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give this an 8. I really enjoyed this movie. It's a musical, small budget, limited sets. But totally enjoyed everything. Mikey, how about you?
Yeah, I'm close. I'm close to where you're at. I'm giving it a 7 just because I did enjoy the songs. And like I said, you only really remember one in the entire movie. You only really remember the one because it's so iconic of a song. Even nowadays, for was it 50 years now, give or take? It's 40, whatever. So I can't do math quick in my head. But
numbers are hard.
It's so hard. I hate numbers, suck. So it's one of those to where I love Tim Curry as an actor. So I had to go back and watch this one, and it's still the sarcasm that he has made the movie had made it have some comedy in it, which is enjoyable to watch. I think after the first half of the movie, you kind of lose interest, and that's where the roller coaster just goes way left. So you kind of miss the entire point. Frankenfurter making his man, and you realize, oh, he is a transsexual.
Yes.
So he likes women,
And
he likes guys, he dresses up in women's clothes. It's one of those to where it is. It would definitely push the envelope in '75.
Yeah.
So to get this made was probably tough to get it made, but
Not surprising that they did.
Yeah, and the actors that are in it, the main three, which is Bostwick, Sarandon, and Tim Curry, they didn't have tons of stuff going on in the '70s. Now in the '80s, they were huge actors.
Right.
So I think this movie catapulted the rest of the stuff they did. Probably not their careers, but it really it pushed them and gave them some more gigs and stuff like that. But
it was a good spot on the resume.
Yeah, absolutely. And the acting by them three were okay. Your Riff Raff, Magenta, Columbia was kind of annoying with her singing voice. So that kind of
that's like saying I'm kind of overweight.
That very, very very high pitched, so it's kind of tough to listen to. There's another character in other movies that kind of have that same high pitch, and it's absolutely annoying after a while. But you kind of look past that. There's no plot in the movie, really. You have a couple different scenes that were like, okay, yeah, that's what they're doing, so forth, and then it kind of, like we said, goes in the left field. So you can't follow a plot at all. So just for that, I'm going to give it a 7.
I got you.
What about you, Bevo?
I'm right there with you. I would probably give it a 7. For this being my first time ever seeing it, and mind you, I did only watch it once. I didn't try to rewatch it or anything like that because I didn't want to try and let that skew my opinion even more.
Yeah.
But no,
it got worse.
No, I would probably give this a 7. I'd be on the same length. A lot of the stuff you touched on is the same way I was looking at it. It's still a good movie. It's something I would recommend to other people.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'd probably give it a 7 along the lines of the same reasons you did. The music I liked. Again, like you said, probably the only song in this you're going to remember is Time Warp.
Yes.
And it will be just the chorus. You won't remember the rest of the shit that's said at all. But I thought Tim Curry did a great job in the movie. I actually did really like his singing. I was surprised when I actually heard him sing.
He's good.
He had such a good voice. I agree with you on the high-pitched, fucking annoying-ass voice of the woman. Magenta, I thought, was just kind of like a weird, creepy aunt type of a character in the fucking movie.
Kind of, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And then the ending of the movie just really takes you off the fucking rails and you don't know what the hell happened.
It's like somebody switched the train tracks.
It's honestly, I feel like you watched 90% of one movie and then the last 10% you got to see the ending to a different fucking movie.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You watch 2 and now look at this. So they say, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but they do say at the beginning it is a sci-fi science fiction double feature.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Think about that. Now think about that. You have horror, sci-fi.
He calls me horror one more time.
It goes horror. So you do have the horror aspect, and you do have a horror aspect. There is
which I do feel like
the
horror aspect one. There's a lot of horror aspects in this movie.
There's a lot of
but
horror.
I do kind of feel like for the first probably half of the movie, it is kind of like a horror aspect, and then it switches to the sci-fi.
Yeah, that is very true. Honestly, I've never put that together before that you said it's a double feature. So
listen to this. It's the song at the beginning with the lips. which
Yeah.
is also weird as shit. But yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I can
It's
see
like
the-
being high watching Rolling Stones.
I can see it now. It's a double feature. I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I will say that even if you wanted to combine it and not think of it as a double feature, to me it really was like watching 90% of a movie, and then the last 10% you're just watching the ending to a different flick altogether.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool. Good
Like,
point.
wait, like, okay, who the fuck changed the channel? You know,
It's the same cast.
that's
It's
what
the
I
same
feel like
cast.
it did.
What the hell?
Yeah, like,
Where
how did you
come
change the
from?
channel and keep the same people? This is awesome. You know, but no, I would definitely give it a 7. It was just definitely
Awesome.
it's an experience to say the least.
That it is.
Very
This,
least.
this movie is an experience.
Very
that
least.
I believe everybody should at least see it at least once. Bebo,
Yes.
Bebo, I'm gonna keep it here with you. Do you have any trivia about this?
I got a couple things here that I can go over with you. One, as we said, a lot of people didn't know that Tim Curry could sing. For those who know him, like me, and just watching this now for the first time in 2021, but this was actually his first theatrical movie debut. Was this one? Dr. Everett V. Scott, which is the dude in the wheelchair.
Who Tim Curry could play now, actually.
Yeah, oh,
God, it's fucked up. Damn, it just got cold. Is it cold over there when you are? It just got very cold here. Holy
that does
shit.
not reflect the opinions or narration for
It does
me or
not.
Mikey the Freak. But that guy, when he crashes through the wall for his entrance, it actually was because the soap builders forgot to put an extra door in the lab set.
Okay.
So that's why it looks like he crashes through. They forgot to put an extra door for the wheelchair.
Now that's funny as shit.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
One thing that I thought was kind of funny is most of the actors and actresses weren't told about the prop corpse of Eddie under the dining room tablecloth. So when it was revealed during
The reactions
filming,
were real. Yes.
the looks at horror and stuff like that were actually genuine. The only 3 who actually knew were Tim Curry, Richard O'Brien, and Meatloaf, who had to model the corpse, so do the plaster work and stuff like that. But they were the only ones who knew. So everybody else, when you're seeing them freak out, it's because they didn't know that that was actually there, which I thought was kind of cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Love natural reaction. Natural reaction is always good.
Oh, let me see here. There was one other one. Let me get down to it.
Nothing like some dead air. Everybody, how's it going?
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Sorry.
no.
Well, this stuff isn't in order. I had to scroll through it. The other thing was just when the movie first opened, it had a traditional release with like afternoon and early evening screenings, and it actually bombed. Meatloaf said he attended an opening week performance with writer and director Jim Sharman in the Midwest, and the theater was empty except for them. Midnight screenings became popular in the mid 70s, and word of mouth began to spread that the midnight audience might enjoy the movie, and it began showing at midnight in a few cities and became so popular that it has been shown continuously in movie theaters since 75, making it the longest theatrical run in history.
And that is actually traditionally when the movie gets played, is at midnight.
Yeah.
Yep. That is true.
All right.
Because you can't play that shit during the day with the kids awake.
Very, very true. Very true. Now I have some retro movie memorabilia here. We have a Movie Headliners XL, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, a Dr. Frankenfurter bobblehead that you can pick up on eBay for $34.95. And we have
$34.95.
$34.95. Only $40.
And it's 15,000. It's a limited edition too. So go get yours today.
We have a Rocky Horror Picture Show limited edition box figure set by Vital Toys. It's sealed for $169. And of course, we have the Rocky Horror Picture Show 35 millimeter 8 reels of it, because I believe that's how many reels it takes to run this whole movie. For
What's a double feature?
It is, yes. It is $22,299. So if you got, a few grand laying around, you can pick yourself up a 1975 reel of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Come on, guys. What are you waiting for? Take out those loans against your 401k. Mortgage that house. Let's do this.
Right? Then you can do the time warp anytime you effing want, man.
That's good.
All
I have
right.
Netflix.
Don't do it.
Mikey, how about
All
some?
right.
How about your segment here? Related reels.
Related reels. So I picked the 3 main characters because there wasn't too much. That's really the only 3 characters you kind of associate with. So let's start with Tim Curry. So if you want to stay with, if you want to go horror, I said it again. I said horror. It. He was Pennywise in 1990 version of It. Clue, which was a comedy. We did this on the retro review.
Yeah.
Classic movie.
Another great movie with Tim Curry in it. And if you want to look at his singing capability again, it's a little known movie from '86 called The Worst Witch. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it, but it is a pretty good movie. So Susan Sarandon, a big name player in the '80s, is where she kind of got her fame out of off of this. Thelma and Louise out of '91, which was a great movie, and I put on here Bull Durham, 1988. So Bull Durham's a great movie as well. And then Barry Bostwick, he did a lot of TV stuff after this. Not tons and tons of movies. And if they are movies, you really didn't hear about them. So the ones I kind of put in, Weekend at Bernie's 2. He was in, which I thought was pretty good for comedy aspect. A movie called Men in White, which was funny as hell. It is I give you a quick synopsis. It's a spoof on Men in Black. Yes, exactly. You guys have it. So and it also stars Thomas Wilson, which is Biff from Back to the Future. So a funny movie, not very long. If you can find it, watch it. You won't go wrong. And then the last one, which is what everyone kind of knows him from, and where he got really his career boost, was Spin City with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
So which was another one.
Back to the Future references in that.
What? He's worked with almost the whole cast,
basically.
So yeah, it's one of those where some small movies, some television. If you want to watch those characters again or watch those actors again, great movies to sit down and enjoy. So that's my segment. Thank you.
I myself would just like to throw out one Tim Curry movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where he is a supporting character, but it's not a well-known movie.
I crossed it off.
Did you? Mikey, I know knows this movie. I've rarely seen anybody else or met anybody else who has seen this, but the movie Oscar, which also stars Sylvester Stallone as the main character.
Which we've mentioned before, yeah.
Yeah, definitely see that one as well, because I thought Tim Curry was good in that.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, well, I do believe that does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak and Bebo, I am the Bearded Geek saying keep it retro, everybody.
Peace.
See ya.
See ya.